How is that a win?
Because it's not. Like,
and I stepped in that shit myself. But like, how is that a win?
Paid off truck is an amazing opportunity to get ahead in the game, but sometimes we make the bad decision. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we do. Like, I'm sure I've done some of those mistakes myself, and I know a lot of people, a lot of friends of mine that went down that route, and instead of getting ahead, we actually fell backwards. One of the good examples is, and we see some owner operators coming across here all the time. Man, I paid off my truck. So let's say somebody has a truck that's not a brand new truck. That we're talking about like truck that's already 15 years old.
right.
It's still running, but it's
even newer trucks,
it's
man.
not in its prime condition. And now the individual says, you know what, I paid off that truck, and now I don't need to make a lot of money because I have no payment. So I'm only gonna do a little bit of work, just enough, just to pay my bills. And unfortunately, in business, and especially in trucking, that stuff, just enough, just to get by, it does not exist. You always need to move forward.
Because I think you have to understand, right? Just because you paid off the loan, that doesn't mean that was the only expense. There's still expenses.
Yeah, across the board,
across the board,
breakdowns and everything. And when I was an owner operator, and I remember, the market picks up, and instead of actually continue working in the same pace but making more money, or even working harder and making more money for a bad day, now I'm chilling. Now I'm working less.
So you wanted to be consistent. So instead of making more money, you work less to make the same amount of money.
Yeah. So instead of keeping my work consistent and making more money because opportunity allows me to, I'm keeping my income consistent
in a good market, like restricting it,
just barely making it, just barely covering my bills. And at the end of the day, the truck is not endless. At some point, those resources of your truck will be used up.
I think that directly ties into I don't know if it's a survival tactic, but I hear it all the time, man. Like, a lot of guys are like, man, let me go local until the market gets better. I'm pretty sure you probably went local at some point in your career.
For 2 days.
But the problem is that the fixed costs are still the same. So it actually becomes more expensive to per mile, if you want to break it down, to actually keep that truck running. So, doing 1 or 2 loads a week, like, are you even going to generate enough miles to have enough revenue to sustain that project?
No, I think what everybody forgets about, including me, like, what did we came here for? The market is already, let's just say, if the reason why individual wants to do local until the market going to get better, right? So we're obviously talking about a market that's less than ideal.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're talking about a market that's less than ideal, and the problem is obviously money, we are electing to work even less to make even less money. So how is that a win?
Because it's not. Like,
and I stepped in that shit myself. But like, how is that a win?
But that's what I'm saying, because that's what these videos are about, man. Education and like, look at what I went through and different ways to look at the same problem. Because why is it we're solving the same fucking problems from 10, 15 years ago? They plague us. Like, it's continuous.
That turns out we never learn, and we step in the same shit over and over and over again.
So we're just trying to help for those that are getting started. Hey, man, like, or willing to see a problem from a different angle. Once you view it that way, the solution may just pop up at you, man. Like, it definitely makes a difference. Like, I don't know about that, doing that local just until the market gets better. I rather see somebody. I've seen people do a lot better. Be steady, OTR. Mm-hmm. Whatever that you decide, whether home every weekend or out 2 weeks, whatever. That's up to you. But steady, head out there, go to the money, get the money, and then come back, and you just maintain and be consistent.
Because one thing that nobody ever wants to talk about, even the people that have done local and we know what it takes. Man, I think we all sometimes fall into our own freaking delusions, because when I was thinking about local, or when I've done local, I thought that the local is, you just like any normal other job. You start at 7 or 8 a.m. and you're home at 5 p.m. or something like that. And if you do that, first of all, to be an owner-operator is a bad idea, because you're just not going to make enough money to even sustain the business.
Yeah, you're against time.
And then if you want to make any reasonable amount of money to, to be the owner operator, to continue being owner operator, to continue pushing that business forward, even at a standstill, man, like that's not happening. You are going to work at 3-4 a.m. in the morning, and you're coming back home, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 p.m., and it just becomes a rat race
right.
into
So,
nothingness.
And then that's what we're trying to say. So I get it, guys. I'm even going to get probably the comment there or whatever that like, hey, all my shit is paid and I got all that. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Cool. What I'm talking about is, can you run that? And if the truck breaks down, not dip into the savings or anything else that you have to keep this project going, because now you're depleting your resources. Because whether you park a truck or run it local, it's deteriorating. It's gonna need some love and care. So if whatever you're doing does not allow you to save money for when it's gonna break down, you're gonna have to get it from somewhere. So that's my point. Like, you were better off not doing any of that, and you were never touching that savings to deplete that into this never-ending project, because it's almost like hope is the last thing that dies, right? So you're hopeful that things will get better, that the market did this, whatever. But at some point, you got to see, like, even if the way I'm running is enough to pay for the expenses and have some money left over, then you're going to be okay, because you're not dipping into any type of reserves in order to keep this project alive.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think in every business, and obviously in trucking as well, consistency and stability is a lot more than chasing spikes or doing something else, or changing the way you do business all the time. Consistency and stability. I think knowing how much money you gotta make to stay afloat, and that should include all the bad days too, and making that money every week, no matter what. That's the road to success, because I've seen, like, some people, the market is bad, this is bad, so I'm just gonna work less, I'm just gonna do local. So we start doing that, and now the truck breaks down, we still have savings for a little bit, we fix it, the truck breaks down again, we fix it again, but because we're only doing the bare minimum amount of work, eventually all these savings are gone. So now that individual have no more money to fix the truck, so now he's parking a truck and goes to work as a driver until better days. And then the better days, by the time better days are coming, that truck is a rust bucket.
Yeah.
There is nothing left there, and you literally have to start from the scratch. So I think somebody who would say, you know what, it doesn't matter how bad the market gets, how difficult everything becomes, I'm gonna meet my goals every week no matter what. So when the market improves, I make more. When the market gets like really shitty, I still make my bottom line no matter what. And
but that's what I'm saying.
That's the road to success.
Yeah, because in any industry you look at, in business, straight business, everybody fights to keep their doors open and go to work every day, Monday to Friday, or whatever it is. Like, you have to be present in order to make some money.
Yeah, at least anybody who done business in any reasonable or real capacity, because I'm sure there are people out there that thinking that business is just getting rich fast without any suffering. And suffering is inevitable, you know how we say, embrace the suck. And that's what the business is. So it's never going to be easy. You can just do it a little bit more effectively than others and get ahead.
There we go. So I say stick to the plan and work your plan, man. That's the only way to get through it.
Stick to the plan, work your plan. If you're not making the money that you're looking to make and you're based out of Central Florida, give us a call, 863-342-5171. There is always the way to make money, as long as you know what you want, as long as you know your long-term plan and goals, and as long as you're being realistic.
There you go.
All right, guys, take care, and we'll talk to you on the next video.